Hello, everybody. We Paddy from across the shock, and this is a requested video. It was to be honest with you, I can't remember who requested it, but it's not one that I've had just one request. I've had quite a few, and I've kept putting it off, to be honest, because it was a request to sharpen serrated blades, and I didn't have any. So the nice thing about being with GearBest now, I was able to order a little. I ordered a little Ganzo serrated blade, which I now realise is a very nice little knife to have. But I was sort of looking through, do you know, your back file of things, and I was looking. I was aware that when I first got this, it was the first knife. My wife had bought me this one when I was getting into knives, and I had old rubbish ones. Then she bought me the Delica, which was just way beyond anything I'd ever had, and that started it off for me. And then I got this, and my first video was entitled Delica Killer. Oh, dramatic. So, and I still have the knives today, the two knives that were in my first video. This one is still as good. This one is still as good. This didn't kill the Delica. The Delica still feels as good, although the Delica is near £100 now, and this is, £8-9. So it's 10 times more, or 9 times more, say, than this. So it's always one of those choice things, 440C VG10. To me, I'll never buy another one of these because one, I've got one, I don't need one, but if I ever did want another wee knife, I'd probably get that because you can use it and not worry. But that was by the by. I just thought I'd let you. It's nice to see where you've come from this last. It's just over a year, and that was my first video, so it gave me a bit of a tickle this afternoon when I seen it. So I did just what my sub said. I went and got a knife, and I got the same sort of knife. It's the wee Ganzo, and it's the 759M, S for serrated, and BK for black. So I got that. Comes with the usual gear, and there we go. And to me, it's actually a really good choice because it's only half serrated, and you still get a very good cutting edge here. So if you want to cut rope or anything, you can do it on the inside, but you still have this for doing your letter opening, box opening, whatever. So it's quite a nice wee knife, and it's a nice knife for me to have in my collection. I don't have a serrated blade. So now what I'm going to do is somebody asked me, how do I sharpen my serrated blades? I did tell the truth and said I don't have any, but I'll try and get one, and I'll show you how I would do it because it's not something that I thought would be complicated. And to be honest, it's not. Now, what I'm going to say, the way I sharpen them, or I've been sharpening before this video, does leave scratches on the blades at the back especially. If this is some fancy knife, but then with serrations, if you're going to use your serrations, your knife is going to be a user, so the little scratches and that shouldn't matter, I wouldn't have thought. But anyway, there's two options to use. If this is a rough work knife, and you're going to use it and you're not too worried what it's going to be like, this is what I use. This is a little sharpener. It comes, you can get them on GearBest. I haven't even got a number for them, but if you just type in sharpener, they're all over the place, not just GearBest, but GearBest has them. A nice wee flat bit on there, which we will use, and you just put it in, tighten it up, and there you have an angle sharpener. So you would just get your knife, and I'm trying to do this behind the camera, right? So I'll pick one of these smaller ones. If you see that sits inside the smaller one, can you see that? Yeah, you can. So I would just, personally, I would do it this way. And I would sharpen away from it. Because what I want to do is to get that to roll on the inside, and then I can take it off, and hopefully this side is sharpened. So I'm going to do this just a couple of times, and then what I'm trying today, I have my little friend here just to let us see. So, right, now I'm going to get this. So I done this one up at this end. Woo! I done the one up at this end, the top end. And if I turn it over, and we get this up to see, can you see just here? Can you see where I have moved? I have created the edge over the side. I have taken the burr over on the other side. The far side I haven't got the burr properly, so I can take that away and I can do the burr again on that far side and just make sure that I get all the way down. Take it up. It doesn't take much because it's only 440. It's not a strong steel, and that's quite a rough diamond. Now, let me just get this again. Sorry, this is not the most professionally done. There you go. Now, there you go. It's this one here that I have done. And you can see that there is a burr around there. Right. The only way that I would take that burr off is undo this again, turn it round until you get the flat part. And I would do this if this is just a rough knife and you're not that worried. This is what I would do. Turn it over now onto the flat part at the back. And all I'm going to do is use the flat part of this and take the burr off. And it's just a matter of doing that. Now, if you can see, I'll show you when we get up. I've sort of exaggerated that so that you can actually see what happens. Now, get my wee eyepiece up here. Now, can you see that where I had got that burr up here has gone completely now? No burr there. And that is simply how I would sharpen one of these, a serrated blade. So, I mean, it really is as simple as that. It's nothing complicated to do. You don't have to be a master craftsman. These cost £3 on GearBest. It's just a wee, I'm going to see, let me see. Multi-sharp. So if you type that in a GearBest, you'll find it. Just type in. Now, the other way that I would do it, if it was a more expensive brand and that I cared a bit more about what the knife was going to look like afterwards, if I wanted to keep it as good as I could, what I would use is the Sharp Maker. I mean, for anybody who's doing any sharpening, if you haven't got a Sharp Maker, I know they're about 60 quid. They are dear, there's no doubt about it, but it's one of the best and simple sharpening systems that anybody can use. They're basic. There's a full video that Mr. Spyderco himself, Sal Glesser, does on how to use it, and it makes it so simple. You can do everything from scissors to shears to hatchets. You can do what you like with it. As long as you can get it on there, you can sharpen it. So this is the other way that I thought I would do it if I didn't want to make so much damage. They're triangles rather than a round, but you can still get the triangle into the little grooves, and I would just the same way put it in and go up the sides. Now, the difference between this and the rough diamond that I was using is that I've done this first one here. Now, can you see that first one? I've hardly made any impression at all with it because it's nowhere near as rough. That was one I was doing here. There's a little bit you can see starting, but it's nowhere near as rough. And the other thing that when you're doing this with this, I'm going to show you on the other side of the blade now. When you rub this across the blade, you get much less, can you hear it? But you're not getting the marks that the other rough one led. So if you go gently enough with this, when you're taking it off, you're not going to get left with such big gouges across. You will get some. You're sharpening a serrated knife. Now, that's the way I do it, and I'm sure there's more people. If you know how to do it, please put your method down below so that whoever asks me, and I know there's been a couple, that if they want to give it a go, your one could be much better than mine, and more than likely that will be the case. But that's my way of doing it. I know it's a simple video, simplified way. Having this on your camera is a great way to check your work and what you've done. A great way to keep on top of it. So this is the more expensive version. This is the downright, if this is down and dirty, it slips in your pocket like a pen. Take it to work with you if you want to sharpen it. With this flat edge, even your main blade, and I have done this before in my videos, you can sharpen your main part of your blade on that flat edge there. It'll give you a working edge to get you through the afternoon. It's not going to give you hair splitting, but you see, if you do that and you have a, let me just here, I always have a wee bit lying. You have a spare bit of leather, even use that. And I just put a bit of, I put all sorts in this wee bit of leather. It was an old belt I had. And that will give you a nice sharp edge to get you through the afternoon. So most of the time, it's like anything in life, the more prepared that you get, the more prepared you are for what you're going to do, the easier the task becomes. But I can't recommend these that highly enough, the Spyderco Sharp Maker. And I'm not a Spyderco fanboy by any means, but that works, and it works really well to get any nice sharp without a problem. But I would recommend one of these. This cost me, I think, 50p in a wee shop. You walk into any jewelers, they'll give you them. That's just 3.5 times. You can get all sorts of different ones. In fact, I have a fancy one somewhere, a silver fold away, but I don't even know where it is. But I keep that with my sharpening stuff, just so as I can check how my sharpening's coming along. Because it's also, right, here's a good blade. This is what I like doing. You've seen the rough blades there. Now, this is my Spyderco. Look at that. That's how I check. And you can bring it up further and I can see, you can see how nice and true the sharpening is on that knife. There's no burrs or anything along there. So that's what it's used for. That's what I use it for. Now, have I waffled on long enough? Right, I'm away. Take care. I'm away for a cup of tea. Thanks very much for watching. To whoever asked me, and there was a couple, I hope that helped you. I hope it's cleared up it's so simple. It's just so simple. Don't be frightened of anything. But when you're starting with a knife that's going to cost you $10, £8, that's where you start practicing on. That's where that comes into its own. Buy one, practice, because you can practice sharpen the front and the back. Okay, take care. Bye. Have a nice day.